I guess the question is, how do you get rid of prostitutes in a neighborhood if you're somebody that lives there and are plagued by this?
Right. Well, there are certain areas in town that seem to have more prostitutes than others, kind of hot spots, if you will. And we find out what these are. We start sending in, undercovers. There's different ways that we can go, and there's long-term investigations, there's short-term investigations. I can't get into specifics because we're always working these areas, but there's also different dynamics that we have to look at. Supply and demand, meaning drugs often bring in prostitution to these areas, so we try to work the narcotic side of it and see if we can stop the supply of drugs that bring prostitution into these areas. The supply as far as the girls themselves to Johns that try to pick up these girls. So we work the John side of it, and then the other aspect of it is we have to work the human trafficking side of it and see if any of these girls are actual victims out there. So there are some multifaceted areas that we look at as far as determining long-term and short-term as far as how we go about stopping the recidivism from coming back to that area. Because a lot of these crimes are misdemeanors that these girls are doing out there. So we might put them in jail today, tomorrow they'll be back out. So we have to look at, there are certain instances where the crime, if they've committed it so many times, it can turn into a felony, which they can get more time in. So we look at those avenues. We also look at if they are in fact a victim, we can get them help and get them out of doing that. And then just getting the community involved. We have a hotline for the Vice Unit. We have an email that people can call in and text, email complaints into. So, 1,000 set of eyes is much better than the set of eyes that we have just in the Vice Unit.
I guess because the people out here have complained, and they said they have been complaining for years, and it's still a problem out there. One guy says he's rented his house, and then come to find out the person he's rented to left, and just several places, and then just turned it over to hookers. And he goes, I've tried, and I can't do anything because I can't evict them until 30 days, whatever like that. And they say their hands are tied, and they just want help from JSO. Are they getting help?
Yes, they are getting help. Now, some of the things they might not see right off of the bat, because if it's a long-term investigation where we're working that area with drugs, with prostitution, with anything else that's going on in that specific area, they might not see results right away because there's a lot of undercover issues that are happening to where we're not going to be making arrests right away. Now, I'm not sure on this specific one, but I can say that that happens generally in every situation. So there might be girls that they see that there might be cases on them already, there might not, but at this point we are continually going into these hotspot areas to handle the complaints, to handle these areas where they're having high traffic of prostitution and allegations of prostitution.
And even though it's so blatant out there, you guys are aware of it.
We are aware based on complaints and based on just undercovers that work in certain areas, that work the narcotic side of it, that see girls out there. Of course, everybody has their own rights, so if a person is walking down the street, if we get a complaint that that's a prostitute walking down the street, they still have the right to walk down the street, so we still have to do our investigation because we can't violate their rights as a citizen walking down the street. So we have to build a case, we have to look into it, we have to see if we can continue the investigation to find out exactly who they are, do they belong there, are they committing illegal acts, whatever it is.
And you're actually working both ends on this to the customer as well.
Yes.
So
yes.
It works both ways.
Correct. We will work the drug side of it, we work the John side of it, and we work the prostitution / victim side of it.